Hello and greetings to all Octopath Traveler fans. The latest Octopath Traveler 2, the Switch version is now out and you'll be able to play this game into your PC. If you don't own a Nintendo Switch but want to play this game, then this is the perfect video tutorial for you because I'm going to teach you on how to set it up and how to get all of these files here running into your PC. So first of all, these are all the files that you need: the keys, the firmware, and the Octopath Traveler 2. NSP or XCI file format, and that you install them into your Ryujinx emulator. So for those who do not know and are new, Ryujinx emulator is a Nintendo Switch emulator that can play and emulate Nintendo Switch games as long as you have installed all of these files here to Ryujinx emulator, because Ryujinx emulator alone cannot play Nintendo Switch games without these files here. So as you can see here, I have already played Octopath Traveler 2 and I have a copy of it, and it runs quite perfectly well. The performance in it is really good and it's much better than Yuzu emulator. So I prefer that you play this game using Ryujinx emulator than Yuzu emulator. So as of recording this video tutorial, the latest build of Ryujinx emulator is version 1.1626. So I'm going to teach you first on how to get Ryujinx emulator in order to get started. So open a web browser here and just type in Ryujinx emulator and hit search. And then go to ryujinx.org, that is their official website. Then click on the download tab here. And if you're using a Mac OS, then your Mac OS should be in Mac OS 11 or later version in order for you to use Ryujinx. And if you have Linux, you can just download the Linux installer here. And if you are using Windows, just like mine, I'm currently using the latest build of Windows 11. And you can just download it here. The download and installation process is really easy to do and is really straightforward. So I'm just going to skip on this part just to save time. And I'm going to assume that you have already downloaded and installed the latest build of Ryujinx emulator. So if this is your first installation, then boot up or run Ryujinx emulator now. And then you'll be met with certain errors saying that you'll need some certain files installed into your Ryujinx emulator in order for it to run Nintendo Switch games. So what are those files? Those files are the Nintendo Switch keys and the Nintendo Switch firmware, and it should be in version 15 in order for it to detect and play Octopath Traveler 2. So, if you're asking me where to get all of these files, legally speaking, you can only get these files if you own a Nintendo Switch console that is modded and has a custom firmware installed in it, because if it has a custom firmware installed in it, it means that you can access your Nintendo Switch system files, and once you have access on those system files, then all you have to do is just copy all the files for the keys and copy all the files for the firmware files. And you just copy it into your PC. And in order to get Octopath Traveler 2, there's no other way but to own the game and buy the game and have a physical copy of that game and digitally back it up into an XCI or NSP file format, just like mine here. And if you're asking me where to get all of these files, that's the only way, okay? But if you don't own a Nintendo Switch, or if you have a Switch, but don't know how to mod, don't know how to install a custom firmware, or do the things that I have said, I'm just going to save you the hassle and teach you guys where to get all of these files here. Okay, so in order to get all of these files here, I'm just going to leave a QR code here and you can scan it with your QR code reader into your mobile phone so that you will be redirected to the page wherein you can download all of these files. Once you are in approms.com, all you have to do is just hover down into the middle part of the page in order for you to get the Octopath Traveler 2 game. And once you have downloaded it, then hover down into the bottom part of the website so that you'll be able to get the Nintendo Switch keys and firmware so that you can download it. So be sure to check out the entirety of the website so that you'll be able to get all of these files here that I have. So I'm just going to assume now that you have already downloaded all of these files and that you have a copy of it just like mine here in my desktop. So it's time to install them into your Ryujinx emulator. To install this, just go to Ryujinx, go to File, go to Open Ryujinx folder, and then open System folder here. Just open Keys file here. Then all you have to do is drag and drop all of these files here to this folder. This folder should be empty because this is your first installation. Once done, closing that. Now the next step is to install the firmware file. To do this, all you have to do is just go to Tools, go to Install Firmware, install a firmware from XCI or zip file, click on that, and then locate the firmware file. So just like here, click and open. And it will say that you will have to install the firmware, then you want to continue, hit yes, and it will say it's successfully installed firmware. So now your Ryujinx emulator now is capable of booting up and detecting Nintendo Switch games. You'll know that it is successful because as it detects your Nintendo Switch games into your PC, it will show the game icons for that game so that you will know that it is properly working. So what's the next step now? The next step now is to optimize your Ryujinx emulator so that it can run perfectly well with Octopath Traveler 2 and all of the other Nintendo Switch games. To do this, all you have to do is just go to Options, go to Settings, and in this part, all you have to do is just to pause the video and copy my settings from here, okay? So be sure to follow and copy everything. So the game directories is where you will put your Nintendo Switch games, and again, the game should be in XCI or NSP file format. My Octopath Traveler 2 is in NSP file format. So I'm gonna go to Input tab now. So it's better to play a controller and playing Nintendo Switch games because it's really hard to use mouse and keyboard. So to do this, to configure this, just go to Port Player 1 and hit Configure. The next step is just to detect your controller. To do this, I'm just gonna close in that back and connect my Nintendo Switch Pro controller. If it's not detected yet, so I'm just gonna close in that. Close and that again, it's not yet detected. Close, and then go back to Options, Settings, then Input, then Configure. Here, still not showing. If it is not showing, sometimes this is the bug that's currently occurring with Ryujinx. So all you have to do is just disconnect your controller and then reconnect it back. And once it's done, close in this, then it will detect your Nintendo Switch Pro controller now. So all you have to do is just map them up according to your liking. If you have a PlayStation or Xbox controller, you can just hook it up here. And the dead zone should be in 0.20% so that there will be no Joy-Con drifts issue in playing the games. So once done, hit save, and then go to System. And here, just follow all of my settings here. Be sure to copy everything, okay? As for the System tab, for the Graphics tab, this is the most important part, so be sure to copy everything. Graphics backend multi-threading should be on. Graphics backend API should be in Vulkan. The preferred GPU is that your graphics card. You should set it up here. And enhancements, enable shader cache, should check that box. Enable macro HLE, just check that box. And the resolution scale is 2x resolution so that the game will look more sharper and much more beautiful than the native resolution of Switch. But if your PC cannot handle that, then all you have to do is just change it to the native resolution scale for the Nintendo Switch. But for me, I'm going for 2x resolution because I have a 1440p monitor. And once done, anisotropy filtering is auto, aspect ratio is 16:9, and hit apply. And now, click on the save button. Now, your Octopath Traveler 2 and Ryujinx emulator now is fully optimized so that it can run this game with no issues at all. And a little bit of disclaimer, I'm going to show you a gameplay of Octopath Traveler 2 because we all know that Nintendo is real strict on this kind of content and they don't want it to be shown in the internet or in YouTube. Because if I show you that I'm playing Octopath Traveler 2 using Ryujinx emulator, then my channel and my videos will be taken down. So to save myself from that hassle, I'm not going to show you that. But to show you some proof, guys, I am willing to show you a little bit of boot up of Octopath Traveler 2 here in the title screen. Okay, so I'm going to boot up the game into the title screen, and then I'm just going to close the game so that Nintendo will not be able to detect the game that I am running. So I'm just going to blur the screen here so that Nintendo will not hit me with any copyright strike regarding in their game running in Ryujinx emulator. And I hope you do understand all that part, guys. As long as you have followed all the steps that I've shown you in this video tutorial, then you'll be able to play Octopath Traveler 2 with no issues at all in Ryujinx emulator and into your PC. So now it is booting up and the game is loading. So here it is, the title screen. So I'm just going to stop the emulation now. So as you can see, guys, Octopath Traveler 2 is running perfectly well in Ryujinx emulator. So if you have some questions regarding the installation process of Ryujinx emulator into your PC, then just leave a comment in the comment section below and I will try my best to answer all of them. Subscribe to my channel. This will help me out. Thank you for watching. See you next time and goodbye for now.